Hello, everyone. Dave Bondy here, talking with Elise Amadon from, let's just say, downriver, Metro Detroit area.
Yeah.
Okay. So you reached out to me this week about something that I actually saw, and I'm going to put up the headline here. This is the Detroit Free Press. Thousands of tons of radioactive waste from atom bomb making way to Wayne County. So, and this is where it's going. There's a video playing right here. The landfill, Wayne Disposal Landfill in Wayne County, Michigan. So how would you first hear about this? Like everyone else, just from like the media?
Yeah, basically. Michigan Bridges kind of was one of the first people to kind of and to expose it. So when I heard about it, it was one of those things where, shocking.
Yeah, I mean, you would be shocked to know that atom bomb making material headed to the area. And by the way, I just looked. This is the same facility that has the very dangerous material from the East Palestine train derailment. So when you found out about this, what did most people would just say? Oh, this sucks, and then forget about it. You didn't do that though. What did you do?
I called Eagles first,
The
which is
state?
the Environmental Lakes Great, and I
Yeah.
forgot the whole acronym, but I called them first because I've called them before on certain matters that I was concerned with, and those are the people to talk to. That those would environmentally at least, because they cover air and the water, so
Okay.
it's not just one type of natural resource we need. So I contacted them and I had asked them, who who would this be, who's doing it basically, like for what. So he said it was the United States Army Corps, and he proceeded to email me regarding further about this contract, which is federal, and then with Wayne Disposal is private.
Yeah, and I see here it says that what into January 2025, 25 semi trucks per week will be transporting this waste into Wayne Disposal just off I-94 in Van Buren Township. So what is your concern? I mean, obviously the transportation of this stuff is a concern as well, but people I have family that live right around there actually too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's
what
only 15-20 minutes for me. I mean, my only concern is that we are a state near fresh water. So for those types of hazardous materials to be even, 20 miles away from, part of our resources is, with fishing and agriculture, everything. I mean, it's just really, it's disheartening. And whoever, says that they have our best interest as far as making things environmentally safe, whether if it's Eagles or your, legislative, or representative or the
yeah.
politicians, you would say. I mean, that's
Um
just one thing that, everyone, despite a, side, I mean, this is insane.
I see here, I'm reading this article. So the Army Corps is committed that higher radiation will not come to Wayne Disposal, but that's what they say. I'm someone who's always questioning government, and sometimes I don't always believe everything I'm told. So,
They don't even know if it's not already being shipped here. This could be going on currently, and we're
okay.
just finding out about it. And they didn't
So,
even have a remark or a response for that.
yeah, it says there's a stricter guideline for both federal and state regulations. So is the problem a lot of lawmakers didn't know either. A lot of the officials in Michigan didn't know.
No,
Is
they were too busy at the DNC.
well, is the problem also that the transparency that they didn't let people know? Is that a big issue?
I
Like
would say partially.
should they
Partially,
have told
yeah,
people?
partially.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
Um
I would say a lot of it would probably be just incompetence.
what is and I guess this is coming from it looks like it's coming from New York. It's
Manhattan,
coming
yeah.
from a site in New York where the Manhattan Project was developed and the atom bomb just after World War II. So what would you say if it has to go somewhere? Is it something that people just don't want it in their backyard, or what? I mean,
I mean, they have atomic testing in Nevada. I mean, they can put it somewhere in the middle of the desert where no one lives. There's no resources. There's nothing there. I mean, there's other places it can go. And I mean, I'm sure that instead of 25 truckloads, I mean, of course you would say train, but after everything with the Norfolk, I mean, it's hard to say what the railroads are like.
Yeah.
But I
So
mean, either way, it's just to put it near all just with all of our water. I mean, that's the one thing I would say that, it's just that's just too risky.
So your point is you're not saying that it shouldn't go somewhere because obviously
it has to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no one's going to want it in their backyard, but your point is there are places in the country like in the middle. I just flew to Arizona recently and I looked out in the plane window and there were hundreds of miles of nothing in desert. That's what you're talking about.
Yes, where there's not a population, where there's just you can't do agriculture there. There's no water. I'm just saying where you got dead zones. There's dead zones that have been buried. I mean, they already do it currently in Nevada. So, I mean, I just don't know why they pick Michigan out of all of the states.
Okay, yeah, and a good point. I want to bring up on a map for people who don't know. Hold on, because I grew up in this area, so I should know. Let me find the map here. It is near. I mean, this is not a area in the middle of the woods. This is like in the middle of Metro Detroit.
Yeah. And you got to imagine, I mean, the people's property value, I mean, that could plummet. I mean, people that's houses are right there. And then you've got radioactive waste.
Yeah.
Business. I mean, I'm just saying that just like decreases the property value. I mean, totally.
So I don't know if you can see it on the screen.
I see.
Here's Michigan for those of you who don't know, because I had a lot of people watching me from all over, but that's Michigan. And then I zoom in, that's Metro Detroit. And this, I believe, is right over here. Right off I-94.
There you got Huron River, you got Belleville Lake. I mean, there's little streams and stuff that do feed with this. I mean, through the Detroit River. I mean, possibly, it'll reach its way.
Yeah, right. That you have all that water right there, but you also have millions of people living all in this area. So
yes.
So your point is when you have, let's go out here to Nevada in the middle of where there's nothing. They could have looked at a different place. Maybe you're saying, and that way they could have had maybe like meetings or just, do you feel like the federal government just did it without even ask or telling anyone? I mean, really?
Of course. I mean, there's private sectors that run these types of business. I mean, sometimes I've contacted the Dingle, Miss Debbie Dingle.
Yeah.
This is her district, and she wants to hold a town's meeting on the 4th at I think like 7 p.m. because this is her district, but it was even kind of said this is out of her hands. So for the congresswoman, to not even be able to object to this or say anything kind of speaks volumes to me.
Yeah, because it's beyond the state of Michigan, but it's in the state of Michigan. So that's and I don't think people know how it works. And that's another thing why I wanted to have you on. Some people think like Michigan or whatever has a say, but sometimes the federal government, I guess they just do what they want.
Yeah, and that's, I believe, where the people should step in. If the government, if the state isn't going to, then I believe, the people that live there, I mean, people who would be concerned about this, which I would say probably majority of the Midwest should. Because like I said, it's just near, I mean, you're just, as you pulled up the map, yeah, there's waterways. I mean, that's Lake Erie right there. It could get through and then so forth. I mean, there is places, I believe the government is being lazy, and it seemed like they just spun the globe and closed their eyes and pointed at a place, without really thinking this through.
Last thing before I let you go. So what would you like? People see this or more people to go to the meetings, to call, to email?
Everything. Call them, go to the meetings, call U.S. Army Corps. I mean, this is our land. This is our water. For them to do this is going against everything natural and of law, and it should not be stand for. And I mean, I don't want to say any type of, take drastic measures as far as blocking roads or anything, but I mean, you really have, if you truly feel like I do that this should not be happening, then yeah, I'm attending the Tuesday meeting with the, in Detroit. And, so people can voice their concerns. And I believe there's a lot of concerns here, and they can't just put whatever they want. And I mean, and it's crazy because we're supposed to live in a democracy. We're all
Yeah.
supposed to have a say in something.
I
So,
I
if
see.
this is the democracy we should be fighting for, then is to speak our minds on, hey, this should not happen, and there could be a better plan.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I just found this here. Southeast Michigan became the dumping ground for America's most dangerous chemicals, and that's a picture right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I grew up near here, and I remember that being a small little area, and you drive by now, it's almost like a little mountain. It's
Yeah,
huge.
and I mean, we take in so much from Canada too. And I
Yeah.
mean, Detroit, I mean, all through Delray, I mean, that's all factory. I mean, these are all places within 30 minutes from each other. So it's just we have a lot of conflicting, pollution and, just everything. So for them just to think that this is a dumping ground is insane. I mean, we already have stuff. So
Yeah. Michigan, yeah, we have a lot of our own issues. So,
yes, we do. But the thing is, I mean, we have fresh water, and that's what makes us so unique compared to anywhere else. So for them to think we're a dumping ground, meanwhile, we have 20% of the world's freshest water. Should not be happening. And I think more people probably should even run for office if if you kind of, want to take this bigger or do something about it.
I totally agree. Wow. Yeah, let me just bring up right here. This was back in 2005. I didn't even know about this. There was a fire that burned several days at a facility. So bad things can happen. I mean, it
Oh
does.
yeah. One of the worst oil spills was like in Kalamazoo too.
Yeah, Van Born and Romulus in 2005. So, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's and it's just the thing is, infrastructure. You got to have people with, very high, intelligence to be able to run these types of facilities efficiently without spilling and, causing these types of, disasters.
You would hope they are. Okay. So if you would tell people to write lawmakers, anyone that they can think of just to get the word out.
Well, yeah. And I mean, it's so easy to kind of get mad at it over Facebook, and then and then there's going to be something else to be mad at tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's better to try and take the bull by the horns and start calling, whether if it's the governor, your Congress. I mean, maybe call up the city hall, like, the Belleville, call Wayne Disposal. All their numbers are listed.
Yep. Okay. Well, I'll put it out there. I thank you, and please keep me updated.
Oh, yes.